Volume solve one of the most fundamental problems in Kubernetes. How do you persist data when containers are designed to be temporary? This is part 20 of the Kubernetes series. A container file system is temporary in nature. Every time a container restarts, whether it is crashed or updated, everything written in its local file system is gone. Log files, uploaded file, processed data, all wiped. If your app needs to write anything important, you need volume. Think of containers local file system like a whiteboard in the meeting room. When the meeting ends, room is cleaned, whiteboard gets wiped. On the other hand, volume is like a notebook you bring to the meeting room. Whatever you write in the notebook stays if the meeting is over and the whiteboard is wiped. What is a volume? A volume in Kubernetes is a storage that exists outside container's own file system. It gets mounted into the container on the path you define. There are many types of volume, but today we will cover two most fundamental ones: empty directory and host path. Empty directory, created fresh when the pod starts, lives as long as pod is live. If the container restarts, the data will survive because the volume is tied to the pod, not container. When the pod is deleted, the data is gone. This is perfect for sharing data between the containers in the same pod. Path mounts a directory from the node actual file system into the container. The data persists even if the pod is deleted because it lives on the node itself, not in Kubernetes. Useful for accessing node level files. But be careful, if the pod moves to a different node, the data is not there. Let's understand all the files and run a live demo. Containers in this pod, sharing an empty directory volume, share data. The writer container writes a message to data message.txt every 5 seconds. The reader reads from the same file. Both mount the same shared data volume. That is how they share data through the file system. Use demo.sh for all the code. Apply has created the pod. This kube control execute command will get us inside the reader container. Two separate container, one shared volume and data flowing between them. This is our host path pod.yml file. It mounts from tmp folder from the node to host data folder inside the container. Let's apply this file. Okay, the pod created. ls into host data folder shows actual files from the node file system. The key takeaway is empty directory is temporary, shared data between the containers in the pod, gone when the pod is deleted. On the other hand, host path is node persistent, survives pod deletion but tied to the one node. Always use volume when your app needs to write anything important. Thank you. That's all for today. Go check the code from YouTube post and practice yourself. Thanks. Follow for more.